The second thing that happens when we're in that kind of chronic threat physiology from a chronically difficult relationship is what we call changes in brain morphology. That is the shape and size of certain brain structures. So this happens because of cortisol. But along with those changes in structural morphology, we have very concerningly changes in what we call the white matter. Now, we talk a lot about gray matter. You probably are familiar with what gray matter is. That's really what we see when we look at the cortex of a brain. But white matter is incredibly important. White matter forms what we call the myelin sheath along the axons of the neurons. And it's imperative for neural communication. The neurons cannot talk to each other. We don't have our brain connecting. The synapses aren't connecting and talking to each other if those axons aren't properly myelinated. That's the white matter that goes around the axon. Now, think of it this way. You have cords in your house, right? I have a cord right here plugged into my computer, and around the cord is a sheath. That sheath protects the cord, the wires inside of it, from shorting out or miscommunicating with another cord. Think about a bundle of cords now under your desk or behind your TV, and imagine that none of them had a sheath around them. They would short out. A signal coming in from the wall wouldn't go the right place. It might spark a fire. All kinds of bad things would happen. Well, that's what happens in the brain. What happens in a response to stress is we have abnormal white matter, generally excesses of white matter and irregularities or deformities in that white matter. And as a result, the neurons cannot communicate effectively. And when the neurons can't communicate effectively, we start to see all kinds of side effects: communication side effects, concentration, learning, memory side effects, that sense of brain fog. We might have depression, we might have anxiety. All kinds of things happen as a result of those abnormalities in the white matter because of the disruption in neural communication. This especially happens in two parts of the brain: the hippocampus, which is where learning and memory kind of exist, and the amygdala. Remember, the amygdala is central for emotional regulation. If you have a disruption in the white matter associated with the amygdala, you will also have disruptions in amygdala function, meaning you'll have problems with emotional regulation.